Good morning, Cappuccino. Welcome to week 3, day 3 of teaching and learning from home. So we are going to continue with our literal equations. A couple of these equations come from math and science. So this equation right here, F equals ma, is force equals mass times acceleration. Those of you taking physics should recognize this equation, very important equation in the sciences. And then this equation right here, this comes from geometry. Perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So this is the distance around a rectangle. So in algebra, we need to learn how to work with these different formulas. Sometimes it's necessary to rearrange the formulas to make them easier to work with. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to rearrange these formulas by using the deconstruction method, just like we did yesterday. And you're going to practice this again in math space. Very important to be able to manipulate, to move around different parts of an equation. All right, so the first one, F equals ma, we're going to be solving for m. So F equals ma. What are we solving for? We're solving for the m, this one right here. I want to get the m all by itself. So I don't like it when it's on the right-hand side. I'm going to start by flipping the whole thing and write ma is equal to f. Okay, I like to rewrite it. Now I can do my deconstruction. I want to end up with m equals, that's what I'm solving for m, so m equals, what's happening to the m? It's being timesed by a. So m times a gives us f. Now I just need to do the opposite. So I'm going to do the opposite of times by a, which is to divide by a. And then I can write my answer, which is f divided by a. And that's it. That is my answer. Okay? Next problem, problem number 2. Solve for b. Where's the b? There's the b. So I have a plus c equals b plus d. What am I solving for again? I'm solving for b. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to switch the sides. So this entire side, I'm going to move it to the left. b plus d equals a plus c. All right, now I'm ready to deconstruct. So I'm trying to solve for the b. So I want to end up with b equals, I'm solving for b, see right there, solving for b, so I'm going to end up with b equals. What's happening to the b? It's being added by d. So what do I see? I see added by d, so that's b plus d equals a plus c. So what's the opposite? The opposite of adding is to subtract. So this said plus d, so I'm going to minus d. And then I'll get my answer, a plus c minus d. And that's what I write, a plus c minus d. And that's it, nothing else I can do. I cannot combine like terms because a, c, and d are not like each other. They're all different letters. That's it, that's all I can do. Okay, let's look at the next problem. Problem number 3. I'm going to copy it down again. P equals 2L plus 2W. Who am I solving for? I'm solving for L. Here's my L. So again, I don't like it on the right-hand side. I'm going to switch both sides. So I'm going to write 2L plus 2W, copy the whole thing, equals, and move the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Okay, who am I solving for? L. So this needs to end up saying L equals. Okay, move this up so we can see it better. Okay, so what's happening to the L? It's being times by 2. I see it's being times by 2. That gets me the 2L. And then what's happening to it? It's being added. And now this is a little funny. It's being added by this whole thing. It's being added by 2W. So we're not going to break up the 2 and the W. It's being added by 2W. And that gets me 2L plus 2W. Okay, so you can think about it if we had parsed it. What's happening to the L? It's being times by 2 and added by this term, 2W. That gives me P. Now I want to do the opposites. The opposite of plus is minus. And the opposite of multiply is divide. Okay, so what am I going to write? P minus 2W. Well, those aren't like terms, so I'm just going to have to write them down. Let me get more colors here. I like all my colors. So P minus 2W. And then that needs to get divided by 2. So all of this, the whole thing, all of this is being divided by 2. On math space, when you're doing problems like this, it can help to put this in parentheses. It can help to put that in parentheses. All of that is being divided by 2. And there's my final answer. That's it. Nothing else I can do with that. Okay, and then the last problem. You had problems like this yesterday in math space. We're going to have more problems like this. So I have y equals negative 3a times b plus x. And I want to solve for x. I'm trying to solve for x. Solving for x. There's the x. Okay, again, it's on the right-hand side. I don't like that. So I'm going to swap sides. Everything's going to move. So I'm going to rewrite this. Negative 3a times b plus x is equal to y. Okay, now I'm trying to solve for the x. Okay, I don't like the x being on the right-hand side here either. So I can swap these two. I can use my commutative property of addition to switch those. So I could rewrite it again. X plus b equals y. So notice I just like to get the x as far to the left as I can. Okay, so I'm trying to solve for the x, so I'm going to write x equals. Now what's happening to the x? It's being added by b. It's being added by b. That gets me that x plus b. Go ahead and put the parentheses on it. Then what's happening to it? It's being multiplied. It's being multiplied by 2 things. So notice here. I have one term. This means multiplication. The x is being multiplied by both of these at the same time. So I can write those at the same time. So I can say, okay, the parentheses are being multiplied by negative 3a. I can do them both at the same time. So I end up with negative 3a times x plus b is equal to y. So now I'm going to undo that. The opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm going to divide by the exact same thing, negative 3a. And then I'm going to do the opposite of add. The opposite of add is subtract. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to have y divided by, whenever we have divide in algebra, we change it to a fraction bar, divided by negative 3a, and then minus the b. All of this is then going to be minused by b. So y over negative 3a minus b. So that's the answer, but some of you found yesterday that if you were to type this into MathSpace, it wouldn't like it. MathSpace would say, yeah, not quite. MathSpace is very particular. it doesn't like to have a negative sign in the denominator. So if I was putting this into math space, I would have to rewrite this as, okay, so for math space is a little too picky if you ask me, but it's all we got. So x equals, we'd have to write negative sign, put the negative sign to the side, and then y over 3a minus b. Okay, so you see that minus sign right there? The minus sign right here, you need to move it to the side. Okay, we take the minus sign and put it in front of the fraction. That's how math space would like the answer. So for math space, this answer, you need to put the minus sign in front of the fraction. So if you did not do yesterday's math space, number 16, if you didn't do number 16 yet, watch out for that. That happens on a couple of problems. The minus sign needs to go in the front. Okay? All right, so that's it. Nothing new today, no new notes. So now go and do math space. If you didn't finish yesterday's, finish yesterday's, but today's math space is number 17. Okay, and it's just like these. All right, have a great April 1st. Hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.